know, the thing is, I'm pretty sure that I don't know how a lot of this technology works anymore. That's really what's happening. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to be talking some mess about this 30-day drum workout thing I'm going to do on my page. Do some pre-gaming. Gonna be talking about this 30-day drum workout thing. And today, and I mean, nobody needs any sticks for this. I really don't need to play through this whole thing. So that's whatever that is. I'm actually just gonna talk about the sections that go up to actually starting the warm up. So yeah, cool. I think I'm gonna run through this thing and then like maybe post it up a little bit later. But yeah, I'm gonna just talk some mess. Looking forward to the live shows again, you know. Yeah, I'm not really trying to rock too many live shows like that right now. Only because I can afford to. I can, you know, I'm doing a lot of teaching, which is really fortunate. You know, when the shutdown happened, that was already something that was in play for me, so that was working well. And I've been writing a lot from home, doing some virtual projects. Yeah, Caleb's like 4 feet and 70 pounds. I mean, I had to look up, you know, how old can a kid be to like ride in the front seat? That's how big he's getting. But yeah. But anyway, yeah, let me try to run through this thing, 30-day workout. I'm gonna talk some boring stuff, so if y'all want to hang, that's cool. If not, I understand that as well. Yeah, there are 3 sections that are kind of the precursors to the start of this 30-day workout. And section 1 is basically reading and terminology. Now, here's the thing. I know a lot of y'all are intimidated by sight reading, and that's cool. Like, it's not a big deal. You do not have to worry about that. I'm going to handle that and try to explain things as best I can. And if you don't understand, you can hit me up and I will explain it to you. But I'll walk through, sure, let's talk real quick. So they have like, you know, the tree of rhythm, which I was speaking to somebody about yesterday. And I don't know if that's backwards, but check it out. It's the rhythm tree. Whole notes to half notes to quarter notes to eighth notes to 16th notes. That might look like gibberish to you. This is what it sounds like. So if you have a quarter note, I like this metronome a lot, guys. If that's your quarter note, right? Let's say that's your whole note, right? Now let's make that the quarter note. So a whole note is 4 beats, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Half note is 2 beats, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means that a half note can even start on B2, B2 and 3, you know, whatever it is, depending on how it goes rhythmically. If we come across those things, again, I will explain it, so you don't necessarily need to know how to read music. I got you on that, but we're gonna work on it. So the tree again, ready? So we got the whole note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's our representing our quarter note. Half notes, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So with the eighth notes, what's happening is for every quarter note or beat that you get, you're doing 2 beats in that space. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, right? And then you have your 16th notes, which represent 4 notes for every quarter note. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, right? Rhythm tree, basic rhythm tree. Now, for a lot of you guys who have been playing for a while, that's easy stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. For you guys who have not experienced that yet, or have been playing and don't necessarily understand like how they correspond to each other, is good to know. It is very good to know, and I will talk about it again as we go down this thing as needed. And you're welcome to ask about it, and that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be throwing out sheet music for this somewhere, whether it's on the actual post for that day, or if it's, you know, if I put the sheet music somewhere else. I will help you. If you don't know how to read, I'll help you with it. If you know how to read, even better. You can reinforce what you see with what I'm playing. There's some basic drum notation on here, which I'll probably post some of this somewhere in some area. I'll capture it in some area so you can always reference it when you see the sheet music. But you know, your basic, you know, ride cymbal goes here, hi-hat, crash, whatever, toms and bass drum and all that stuff, right? So that's cool. It talks about repeat signs, which, you know, basic notation things. This is a repeat sign if you've never seen one. And this, if you don't see one at the beginning of the measure, it really just means go back to the beginning of the measure, and usually it's just kind of play it once. The only time you play it multiple times is if they say so. Open and close hi-hat is very important in this 30-day thing. So if you see that notation, or if you hear it played, just know that this is what's happening in that notation. Now, this is an excellent time to take what you see, you know, while we're doing this 30-day thing. It's going to be an excellent time to take what you see on paper, in as much as it doesn't necessarily make sense to you, and associate it to what you're playing. On some level, as you begin to read music a lot, you can, it starts to look like words, you know, like, or small phrases. So allow that to happen, you know, kind of let your mind float into that space a little bit. It talks about using a metronome. Metronomes are your best friends. Metronomes are a way to go from like playing really badly to really well super fast. If you can, you know, identify with, you know, simpler example. Here's something very simple that we can all associate with. If I take 60 beats per minute and I do double strokes, right? And I want to play double strokes faster, because this is one of the things that drummers ask me all the time. Like, how can I play fast? How do I learn how to play fast? If you play with a metronome, you can learn how to play fast. Because, you know, just like that, you know, let's say I jump that up to, you know, 90 from 60. Now I've already increased myself like, what, a third or something like that. Actually, 50%, that's 50% faster. Yeah, you know, so go up to 120. So that's kind of the magic of understanding how a metronome works and how it can be used in this example. I would suggest that for everything that we're doing, if you do it and it seems very hard, you know, just kind of follow each of the individual notes, and you can even play it out of time. But once you get it, put it into time, and then, you know, you'll be cool. Put it into time, apply the metronome, you'll be cool. That's what I mean to say. Dynamics are the next thing. So dynamics going from very soft to very loud. That's another thing they're going over in the first section. So that's important to know. You know, it gives the song or the melody or the groove color or shape, you know, however you want to say it. And that's section 1. You know, pretty straight up. If you know those things, this is boring. But if you don't know these things, you know, and if I said it too quickly, just ask me questions later. Holding the stick. We've got, you know, pretty much what I was working on last night. This is the basic technique of how to hold the stick for match grip and for traditional grip. And last night I was working on, just kind of adjusting my traditional grip so that I wasn't using as much rotation in the wrist and using like a lot more fingers, that kind of thing. Knowing how to hold your sticks is important. If this is a challenge for you, you don't know how to do this, hit me up. Because again, kind of a boring topic to talk about largely, but if you just as a quick tutorial, match grip, I usually just, kind of angle it across the hand and wrap your hand around it. There are different little switches on this depending on how your body works. But what I will suggest is when you're playing like this, make sure that your fingers are wrapped around and your fingers are not on top of this. If your fingers are here trying to stop the stick, you're not getting the proper rebound that you need. This is not wrong. You'll need this for something else later, but for general purposes, you want the stick to basically have fluid motion in your hand. Okay? So that's pretty dope. That works on both hands if you're doing match grip on both hands. If you're doing traditional grip, usually if you're right-handed, it's happening on the left hand. If you're left-handed, it's happening on the right hand, because I know a player like that. Shout out to Warren Wolf. And yeah, usually I think of it like a baby cradle kind of thing. But here's your focal point. This is kind of where you should start. It doesn't matter, because I had a technique. I was working on a different technique last night, but this is kind of where you should start, where you have the stick here, and if you have Vic Firth sticks, which you all should, Vic Firth is cool. If you have a Vic Firth stick, a good marker for that is the flag, and you probably heard that a million times, but this is kind of the motion that you want to make. You can try to do it with your arms straight and like kind of a handshake as much as possible. You might have this dip down a little bit, and that's normal. Then your first two fingers, or your last two fingers, however you want to think about it, basically they're splitting the middle here, they're splitting the center space here. So you're kind of cradling it like so, and then you end up kind of getting a V with both, no matter which grip you use. So if you're using match grip, German grip, whatever, you usually get this, you get V. So look for the V. Cool. Sticks. They have bass drum technique, which is like heel up, heel down, which I'm not going to show you right now, only because I don't have my drum set set up for that. But maybe when we do the actual days thing, I'll do a little demonstration of that. But heel up is basically your toe is pushing down on the footboard. Heel down means that the heel of your foot is resting on the back part of the pedal or off of the pedal. And then that idea is used to, do doubles and different kinds of things in this particular context. And, they have the same thing for the hi-hat technique. Heel up, heel down. Again, I'll demonstrate it as needed. And then they have the side-to-side, foot thing, which I don't really use, but some people use it, and it's effective. So I'll demonstrate that again when the time comes. Here's the important part of that part. The strokes. So these are strokes that are important for you to know. The full stroke, which is just going like this. Full stroke. Like so. The full stroke starts with if you can imagine your stick pointing up into the sky and just coming down, that's a full stroke. Very important. It's going to be very important for this particular exercise. So full stroke goes down, comes back up. So you're pointing at the ceiling, go down, come back up. I have so many students, that when I say just do the full stroke, point it at the sky, and then go back to pointing at the sky, for some reason, they point it straight ahead. And they never come back up. being able to do a full stroke and have that level of control, even though largely you're going to start to use like your wrists and your fingers, having the coordination to do this is going to become very important, especially when you start having to move your hand around the drum set. And then it's also going to be very good for articulation and dynamics. So, yeah, not that you guys care about those things, but you know, if you do, hey, cool. That's full stroke. Downstroke is starting at the full stroke position with your, stick pointing straight at the sky and just coming down to the pad and staying down. All right. Now, when you come down, and maybe I should show this. Let's see if I can show this. And you come down to the pad. Let's see. Let me just pull my pad over here. When you do the stroke down on the pad, if you notice, my stick isn't stuck in the pad. It comes up because that's how physics works. You throw that energy down and it's going to come up a little bit. The whole idea with the downstroke is just that you keep your arm down. All right. And this is important because of the next one, which is like a tap stroke, which is you just tapping from the low position. So downstroke, tap stroke, right? You have the full stroke comes all the way to the top, downstroke comes down, tap stroke, right? Those are 3. Then you have the upstroke, which starts from this low position, tap, and you're going back up to the top. Now the reason why the upstroke is important is because with the upstroke, you're usually setting it up to do the downstroke. You're setting it up to make a louder sound, if you can imagine that. So if you're in the low position again, you're coming up here to make a louder sound. I mean, this is a very, this technique, let me not say that because then the drum police are going to come after me. But really that technique kind of borders or is related to some elements of the Moeller technique, or even things like doing a one-handed roll. Like that technique of knowing the difference between full stroke, downstroke, tap stroke, and an upstroke. Those little idiosyncrasies, which actually are very simple by themselves, that can help you do a lot of other techniques. If you have a question about it, hit me up. We can talk. Or you can start chatting in here, and I will talk to you about it right now. Section 3 is just a bunch of warm-ups, which is kind of cool. It's just, single stroke warm-ups, double stroke warm-ups, combining single strokes with double strokes. It's just warm-up stuff, which, if you have your own warm-up, that's great. If you don't, maybe I'll do a video with these warm-ups on there, and then you can use it as your pregame before you get on to doing each of these. What are we calling these? Workouts. Each of these workouts each day, right? So, yeah, maybe I'll do a video of that and I'll post it somewhere. Maybe I'll put it on my Patreon and I'll put it in the front door so that you guys can check it out. Yeah. Warm-ups. And there are a lot of warm-ups. And then right after the warm-ups is day 1. So I hope that made sense. That was kind of fast. I'm going to try to post this video up so that people can check it out again. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. So you guys let me know when you want to start. Otherwise, maybe I start tomorrow. Yeah, it'd be cool to start tomorrow because it'll be fun. So maybe I'll do that. But that's about it. That's all I got. How long did that take me to tell you? 20 minutes? 15, 20 minutes? All right, cool. So let's do that. 30-day warm-up. I'll post it in my posts every day what the warm-up is. And, hopefully I don't get, taken down by the man or something like that. And then, yeah, we'll be on our way. 30 days of warming up together. It'll be fun. And we'll be able to go through a book. And that'll be fun too. And then if this works out well, maybe I'll do some of the cooler books that I have and we'll work through those one by one. But that's pretty much what I got for you. All right? Sounds great. You guys can request the next book maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. All right. Great talking to you. I'll talk to you later. Peace.